Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. And just got done over at Boat Works. They had an open house today and got hung out with Dion Hibden, Lawson Hibden, and some of the guys over there. So I had a good time there. And man, if you guys are interested in, you know, looking at Camus boats, Skeeter boats, Bass Cat boats, Express, I mean, they have got a great line of boats over there at Boat Works. So check them out. I'll include the link in the description, as well as the tackle store that they have adjacent to the boat shop. Bait Works got everything you need for your fishing needs. I'll include the Bait Works link there, but I just wanted to throw that towards you guys a little bit before we get started on today's video. And the video I want to talk about today is about Table Rock Lake, which is now my home lake. It's been my home lake really my whole life, but I moved even closer to it about 4 years ago. So I have been fishing Table Rock a ton my whole life, but I've really been fishing it super heavily this past year. I've spent more days on Table Rock this past year than I have any time in my life. Been down there every week pretty much, fishing all year long, multiple times a week. And there's a lot of concerns I have about the lake that I want to share with you guys, and it sort of is probably going to also address a bigger picture of some of the same problems we have in the lakes around the country, maybe the lake that you guys have too. But I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. To me, conservation and environmental issues are a huge part of what we do here. You can't really be a bass angler unless you incorporate, the environmental side and the conservation side into your being there, because it's so directly connected to it. And I just want to let you guys know a little bit about the evolution of Table Rock from when I started fishing it to now, which isn't good. And I just want to bring this to awareness, so maybe we can start having a conversation on it. So anyway, I started fishing Table Rock Lake back in the 1960s with my mom and dad. I've been fishing the thing for over 50 years. And back at my earliest memories, when I really was fishing Table Rock a lot in the 70s when I was in high school, lake was completely different than it is right now. You had standing timber everywhere on the lake. Some of the coves had so much timber in them you could hardly get through them. A lot of that timber has decayed out now, and you don't have it there. You've got a lot of submerged timber, but that's a natural progression on any lake that doesn't really cause concern. It's just the natural progression on the lake. But the things that I have seen that has been causing me concern has a lot to do with not only water quality issues, but what's going on the shoreline, everything surrounding that. First of all, one of the most noticeable things about the lake that's going downhill is people initially came to the Ozarks and Table Rock Lake because it was a pristine area. You had the beautiful Ozark Mountains, the beautiful trees, cedars, unspoiled to a large degree. Now, specifically over the past 5 or 10 years, you've had just an explosion of development on the lake. They're bulldozing the trees off the hillsides down there, putting these multi-million dollar weekend homes all over the lake, scarring up the land side. I mean, they're basically taking away everything that brought people in to begin with, that nature, the beauty of nature and the pristine. And now you've got you're having these chopped up hillsides all over the lake. Developers have come in there. They just don't really care about it. They're just destroying the aesthetic beauty of the lake on the shoreline. With that also comes, the erosion, the pollution problems that come with erosion, and increased population also, contributes to more pollution coming into the lake. The water visibility at Table Rock has degraded tremendously over the past 50 years. Back when I was fishing the lake again, back in the 70s, early 80s, the lake was crystal clear all the time. I mean, you had water visibility 10 to 20 foot all the time on the lake. Now the lake is becoming stained all over the lake. You've got, even on the lower end of the lake, a lot of times it's not as clear as it was in the past. You've got so much recreational traffic on the lake on the weekends. It's starting to resemble Lake of the Ozarks. You're having a lot of erosion on the shoreline, which in turn muddies the water up. So the environment is becoming, it's not becoming this crystal clear Ozark impoundment that it once was. You're losing your water visibility, and it's becoming a lot more of a stained water impoundment. And one of the things that I've noticed, sorry about the loud cars, guys. But one of the things I really noticed about it just this past year is the fact that I've got hard water stains all over my boat and motor. It's like I don't ever remember, you know, I fished Table Rock my whole life, and I don't ever remember getting the hard water stains on my boat after I get out of Table Rock Lake that I do right now. It's unbelievable. You know, obviously there's been some type of introduction for some type of mineral in the water there that's causing hard water deposits to form on your boat. Obviously that has to be some type of a man-made situation that's causing that, which isn't good. That's another concern. But the main thing is the just how the fishing has been going downhill, especially for quality fish. Again, back when I was fishing the lake early on, late 70s and 1980s, even up into the early 90s, most of the time it took, in most of the year, you know, throughout the prime tournament seasons, it took 8 to 9.5 pounds to win big bass every single tournament. You just could not hardly win big bass unless you had an 8 or 9 pounder. Now, if it takes anything over 5 or 6 pounds, it's a rarity. A 7-pound bass at Table Rock Lake is extremely rare anymore. You just don't see those anymore. Tournament weights are not what they used to be. Obviously, there's still some good catches at times, but overall, you just don't see the quality of fishing, you know, that you did in the past. A lot of that is due to extremely heavy fishing pressure, you know, both recreational fishing pressure, tournament fishing pressure. There's still a segment of the population out there, guys, that kill the bass they catch. They think that if they're going to catch a bass, they're going to take it home and eat it. I see that a lot. I'm on some of the Table Rock Lake groups, and there's always dudes posting pictures of 4 and 5 pounders they're filleting out, which doesn't help out anything at all. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this up. It's not that I'm trying to sound negative, although it is a negative, but I'm concerned about it, man. I love Table Rock Lake. Table Rock Lake is the lake where my love of fishing started on Table Rock Lake. You know, my parents took me down to the little mom and pop resort called Rod and Reel Resort on Table Rock every year. That's where I learned to love bass fishing. So I'm really defensive about the future of Table Rock Lake. And it's not the same lake that it was. It's just simply not. And a lot of it is because there's things happening into the lake that can be controlled. It can be controlled and turned around, but it's choosing not to do that. So anyway, I do what I can. I try to bring up these conservation and environmental issues, the fact that the hillsides are being destroyed on the lake, the erosion that occurs from it, the aesthetic beauty we're losing, the loss of water quality, loss of quality fishing, and general overuse of the lake. So I'm not sure what the answer is to it, you know, as far as in the long term, the short term, because in order to make some changes, you have to have laws passed that make people where they can't do that. You have to tell them, you know, you can't go up here and you can't clear cut this mountainside to put your $2 million home on. You just can't do that. Or, you know, you got to tell whatever point source pollution people that are putting the chemicals in the lake that, you know, you can't do that. We're going to slap these massive fines on you if you continue pumping pollutants into Table Rock Lake. So, you know, they're hard decisions that have to be made that a lot of people are reluctant to make. And it's not just Table Rock, it's lakes all across the country, guys. I've fished all over this country, end to end, and I see the same thing over everywhere you go. And one other thing about Table Rock Lake is 50 years ago, there was only a handful of docks on the lake, and most of those were, you know, just small little mom and pop docks. Now it's getting docks all over. It's completely changing the way the fish use the lake, taking away just a lot of the pristine beauty. I mean, before you go to Table Rock Lake, you never saw any docks. You didn't see that many people. You didn't see any houses. It was just so peaceful and so healing to be at. And we're losing that. We're losing that every single year more and more. And, you know, I just, you know, wish we could do something to bring it to a halt. I'll keep, you know, being as vocal as I can about it because, you know, I want, you know, people to see Table Rock for the way it was, like it was 50 years ago. Thing that I'm really concerned about is I saw Table Rock when it was in its pristine state. If you guys go to Table Rock right now, you know how much of a nightmare it is on the weekends there. You can see the bulldozers on the hillsides. Multiply that 50 years from now. When all of us watching this video are dead and gone and our children and grandchildren have the lake, imagine what it's going to be if you continue this rate of development and growth. You know, you're not going to have any of the aesthetic features of the lake exist that once existed. They're all going to be gone, and that's not a good thing for anybody there. So anyway, I'll keep complaining about it. I'll keep doing what I can to affect change, and just wanted to pass that along to everybody. Hope you guys are doing good, and we'll talk to you soon. See you.